Hello aspirants, welcome to Environment course by UPSC Experts. See, we are doing PT 365 of 2024-25, right? This is part 3 of PT 365. Let's go to PT 365 and start with part 3. We are done with section 1 biodiversity and section 2 climate change, right? In this class, we will be doing section 3, that is pollution. So let's go to topics and we will start. See, pollution first is with respect to air pollution, right? So this is air quality management exchange platform. Air quality management exchange platform, important. So which is launched by climate and clean air collision, CCAC. Climate and clean air collision. See, we have dealt with climate and clean air collision, right? In our class, the question is asked in, right, previous years, right, about CCAC, right? So it has launched air quality management exchange platform. Air quality management exchange platform, right? So what is it? Right? It is led by UNEP. This year's team focus on invest in clean air now, right? So right, air quality management exchange program. See, इधर है air quality management exchange program, exchange platform, right? So it is one stop shop that provides the latest air quality management guidance and tools to proposed to meet WHO air quality guidelines interim targets, right? So this is air quality management exchange platform. Basically, right, provides the latest air quality management guidance, right? Guidance provide करेगी with respect to air quality management, right? So and CCAC के बारे में भी दिया हुआ, founded in 2012, right? And conveyed within UNEP, right? CC is a voluntary partnership of more than 160 governments, right, intergovernmental organizations and NGOs, right? India joined CCAC in 2019, right? India joined CCAC in 2019, and it works to reduce powerful but short-lived pollutants, short-lived climate pollutants. We have seen, right? इसके बारे में हमने पढ़ा क्लास में, right? So what is methane, black carbon, hydrofluorocarbons, and tropospheric ozone? These four are short-lived climate pollutants. Short-lived climate pollutants are what? Environment में CO2 से कम टाइम रहती है ये, right? So ये important है, short-lived climate pollutants, right? Four short-lived climate pollutants you need to remember, right? Right, that drives both climate change and air pollution, right? उसके लिए CCAC works, right? So CCAC work, right, formed in 2012, right, within UNEP with voluntary partnership of governments, intergovernmental organizations and NGOs, right? वो launch किया air quality management exchange platform, right? Air quality management exchange platform, right? And apart from this, there is nothing, right? WHO air quality guidelines, you can simply go through, right? They are set of evidence-based recommendations to limit values of specific air pollutants. They recommend levels and interim targets for common air pollutants, PM, right? Ozone, NO2, SO2, and carbon monoxide, right? And for instance, right, this point is asked in UPSC prelims exam, right? We have also discussed it PM 2.5 while discussing it, right? So, right, then next, this is also important. Global Nitrous Oxide Assessment Report. Global Nitrous Oxide Assessment Report is published by CCAC and FAO. CCAC and FAO, right? Why FAO? Because nitrous oxide है, 75% of nitrous oxide is originating from agriculture, right? Nitrous oxide originating from agriculture, pesticide से आती है, right? So it is published by CCAC and FAO, right? It is first international report solely on N2O, that is nitrous oxide, right? And key findings is anthropogenic emissions of N2O has increased globally by 40% since 1980s, with 75% originating from agriculture. 75% of the N2O emissions, nitrous oxide emissions, are from agriculture. This point is important, right? And nitrous oxide के बारे में दिया हुआ है, we have already discussed in our class, but still let's see. That is odorless, colorless, non-flammable gas that supports the combustion and occurs naturally in the environment, right? Used for anesthesia, right? It is used for anesthesia and other therapeutic benefits, right? It is also called as laughing gas. Nitrous oxide is also called as laughing gas, right? It causes euphoria, hence nicknamed as laughing gas, right, has a global warming potential 273 times that of CO2 for a 100-year time scale. For a 100-year time scale, right? So that is with respect to nitrous oxide, right? Nitrous oxide. Next is flue gas desulfurization, right? Flue gas desulfurization, right? Right. So that is the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, right, made it mandatory for all coal-based thermal power plants to instill flue gas desulfurization system, right? Flue gas desulfurization system basically flue gas desulfurization करती है, basically SO2 निकालती है. So flue gas desulfurization technology systems can remove over 90% of SO2 from the flue gas emissions. So flue gas emission से सल्फर डाइऑक्साइड को निकालती है, right, of coal thermal power plants, right? So that's why it is important. SO2 निकालती है, right? Majorly 3 types of FDG: dry sorbent limestone injection, right, wet limestone based and sea water based are adopted worldwide. Basically ये क्या करती है, right, limestone inject करेंगे, limestone chemicals react with SO2 chemicals and उनसे mix करके इनको निकाल सकता है, right? So ये इतना important नहीं, बस यही है कि flue gas desulfurization technology, right, desulfurization SO2 remove करती है, right? 90% of SO2 can be removed, right? Then information given about SO2 sulfur dioxide, we have already discussed it, right? You can briefly read it, right? तो इसमें टाइम लगाने की जरूरत नहीं है, briefly you can read it, right? Sulfur dioxide important component in acid rain, right? So acid rain दिया, right? So let's move to next. That is air pollution में हो गया. Water pollution and conservation. See, water conservation के बारे में बहुत सारा information दिया, right? Most of the information we have covered in our class, right? Anyway, you can, if you want, you can go through it, right? इसमें ज्यादा explain करने की कुछ है नहीं, right? You can simply read it once, right? Most of the information is covered, right? Or if you find new information, you can remember them, right? Then next is Jal Hi Amrit scheme, right? Jal Hi Amrit, right? This is important. Jal Hi Amrit, right? That is water is the Amrit, right? So Jal Hi Amrit initiative has been launched under Amrut 2.4, right? That is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transportation. इसके अंदर Jal Hi Amrit आया, right? You can remember it as Amrit is under Amrut scheme, right? Jal Hi Amrit is under Amrut 2.0 scheme, right? During, right? Then what is Jal Hi Amrut, right? It is building on the success of Amrut 1.0. The second phase aims to create water secure cities. Create water secure cities. क्या initiatives लेंगे? Jal Hi Amrut initiative aims to incentivize states or union territories for effective management of sewage treatment plants. For effective management of sewage treatment plants, also termed used water treatment plants. Right? So this is the main agenda to incentivize states and union territories. Central government will provide incentives to states and union territories for effective management of सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स. वाटर जो वेस्ट वाटर है उनको ट्रीट करने के लिए प्लांट्स होता है, उनको अच्छा बेहतरीन करने के लिए सेंटर विल प्रोवाइड इंसेंटिव्स. जैसे दिल्ली है, राइट, दिल्ली हैव सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लांट्स, दे आर वेरी इनएफेक्टिव. उनको अच्छे एफिशिएंट मैनेजमेंट के लिए गवर्नमेंट, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट विल प्रोवाइड resources, right? So to produce a continuous supply of high quality treated water and to promote circular economy of water, ताकि waste water treat हो जाए, फिर उनको use करें, फिर waste करें, circular economy of water, right? Purpose is to foster intercity competition, right? Build treatment facility capacities and incentivize high quality treated water discharge through systematic improvements, right? Then rating system and all is provided, right? रेटिंग ऑफ, जैसे सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लान से अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, अच्छे सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट को वे ट्रीट कर रही है, राइट, दे विल बी गिवन रेटिंग्स सो दैट दे, मतलब जो भी सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लान है वो लोग रेटिंग्स के लिए अच्छे परफॉर्म करेंगे, राइट. देन राइट रेटिंग्स, देन comparison between Amrut 1 and Amrut 2.0 is done, right? So Amrut 2.0 is launched in 2021, one is launched in 2015, right? Period 2015 to 2020, period from 21 to 26, right? So 500 cities and towns are covered here. All statutory towns in the country are covered. All statutory towns in the country, right? Then focus areas are water supply, sewage and septage management, storm water drainage, green spaces and parks, non-motorized urban transports. Here, universal coverage of water supply through functional taps to all households in all statutory towns, or the coverage of sewerage or septage management in 500 cities. So either universal coverage, all statutory towns covered है, right? And sewage और septage management के लिए 500 cities covered है, right? So this is the basic, राइट अमृत का जो भी दिया है यू कैन रीड, इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, राइट ये इंपॉर्टेंट है जल ही अमृत किस स्कीम में अंदर क्या मेन इज इफेक्टिव सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लान्स. अगर अमृत स्कीम भी पूछा तो इसके अंदर वाटर रिलेटेड सब कुछ कवर्ड है, राइट सीवेज ट्रीटमेंट प्लान, राइट देन वाटर रिसाइकलिंग एंड रीयूज में यदि कुछ नहीं सी वाटर रीयूज टेक्नोलॉजी यू कैन simply remember these technologies जैसे membrane bioreactor, right? So this is water purification technology, then ultrafiltration, right? Then reverse osmosis, then disinfection technologies, right? Then electrodialysis reversal, then thermal or evaporation crystallization, right? So ये है water reuse technology का, right? water reuse technology का features. Then जल संचय जन भागीदारी, right? जल संचय जन भागीदारी इनिशिएटिव, जल संचय जन भागीदारी इनिशिएटिव, right? This is again important, right? So see jal sanchay jan bhagidari initiative, right? See this initiative seeks to conserve water with a strong emphasis on community partnership and ownership, right? Seeks to conserve water with a strong emphasis on community partnership and ownership, right? It aims to construct around 24,800 rainwater harvesting structures, aims to construct around 24,800 rainwater harvesting structures through community participation, ensuring long-term water sustainability across state, right? Through community participation, right? Basically construct rainwater harvesting structures, right? So Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari is through community participation and ensure long-term, right? It is based on the success of Jal Sanchay initiative of Gujarat government, which mobilization of cities, local bodies and industries and stakeholders. So under Ministry of Jal Shakti, right? Ministry of Jal Shakti के अंदर है, right? Basically ये करना है जल संचय जन भागीदारी initiative is rainwater harvesting, right? It is associated with rainwater harvesting with community participation, right? Then distinctive features of Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari is emphasis on India's traditional consciousness, treats water as a form of God and rivers as goddesses, right? Then adopts whole society and whole of government approach, right? Entire society and entire government participate, treat water conservation not as a policy matter but as a social commitments, aligns with the ongoing Jal Shakti Abhiyan, catch the rain of collaborative water management, right? This is with respect to Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari, Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari, Jal Sanchay Jan Bhagidari, right? Next is United Nations Convention, right? United Nations Water Convention, right? So ye Ivory Coast recently joined United Nations Water Convention, that is Convention on Protection and Use of Transboundary Water Courses and International Lakes, right? United Nations Water Convention, right? इसमें ये adopted in Helsinki, right? Helsinki Accords, right? ये famous है, right? Helsinki adopted in Helsinki in 1992 and entered into force in 1996, right? So legally binding, that is requires parties to use transboundary waters reasonably and equitably and ensure their sustainable management, right? Transboundary water से जैसे rivers वगैरह, right? To use reasonably, right? Then members, India is not a member, right? India of course water management bilaterally deal करना चाहती है, right? UN Convention of Water का India is not a member, right? So बाकी is not important, इतना ही वो है, right? Water Convention, UN Water Convention, right? Is there, right? Recently joined country is Ivory Coast, right? Then India is not a member of convention, right? Then e-flow monitoring, you can simply skip it, right? Then National Water Awards, you can skip it, right? Then Global Commission on Economics of Water, you can skip it, right? इतना important है नहीं, right? Unimportant चीजें ज्यादा जरूरत ही नहीं है, right? Next is Global Framework on Chemicals Fund, right? Global Framework on Chemicals Fund, right? This is also, you can simply go through it. See, fund has launched its first project called for targeting safe and sustainable management of chemicals and waste. So Global Framework on chemicals fund, right? Global framework on chemicals fund, right? So, right, it is, see, fund fund is set up during fifth international conference on chemicals management, right? Fifth international conference on chemicals management in 2023, right, in Bonn, Germany. It complements existing financial mechanism like global environment facility, etc., and funds to support biodiversity and climate change. Right? Objectives is support low income and middle income countries, including small island developing nations, in addressing chemicals, including products and waste in line with international standards. Right? Target medium scale projects that strengthen national and regional abilities. Right? Then executive board, right? Itna important nahi hai. You can just simply go through it once, right? So global framework on chemicals fund, right? Basically biodiversity protection, etc. You can simply go through it. Itna important nahi hai, right? Then next is e-waste. See, e-waste, we have covered it, right? In the class notes on page 209, we have covered with respect to e-waste, right? Yeah, फिर भी if you want, we can discuss, briefly discuss करते हैं. See, here e-waste monitor 2024 was released, right? And here what we need to remember is e-waste monitor is released by, report is funded and prepared in partnership by UN UNITAR, right? Right? And International Telecommunication Union and Foundation Carmiginac, right? ये तीनों मिलके ये रिलीज किया, right? Then findings is, see, ranked India ranked third largest e-waste generator, right? Followed by only China and USA. China is first, USA is second, and India is the third e-waste generator, right? Then e-waste क्या है, right? E-waste definition, right? ये important है. It includes electrical and electronic equipment including सोलर फोटोवोल्टिक. सो सोलर फोटोवोल्टिक पैनल्स जो है, राइट, वो भी ई वेस्ट के अंदर आती है, राइट. एंड कमा डिस्कार्डेड एज वेस्ट विदाउट द इंटेंट टू रीयूज, राइट. डिस्कार्डेड इंटेंट है रीयूज के लिए, वो ई वेस्ट नहीं है, राइट. द इलेक्ट्रिकल एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इक्विपमेंट इंक्लूडिंग सोलर फोटोवोल्टिक discarded as waste without intent to reuse as well as rejects from manufacturing, refurbishment and repair processes. ठीक है, ये ई वेस्ट है, राइट. एंड ई वेस्ट से बहुत सारे केमिकल्स, टॉक्सिक केमिकल्स निकलती है, जैसे mercury, lead, राइट, एक्सेट्रा, राइट. In class we have discussed all the e-waste related chemicals like beryllium, right? All the things we have, right? Then e-waste management in India, right? E-waste management in India, right? So e-waste management कब से शुरू हुआ, right? जैसे पहले hazardous waste amendment rules first covered hazardous waste materials in e-waste composition. Then e-waste के लिए specific rules बनाया only in 2011, right? It introduced the concept of extended producer responsibility, right? Extended producer responsibility is majorly associated with e-waste, right? First e-waste के related ही आया, right? Extended producer responsibility is what? Producer है e-waste जो generator है, right? They need to have more responsibility, right? Is an environmental policy approach in which producer's responsibility for the product is extended to post consumer stage, right? Producer's responsibility for a product is extended to the post consumer state of the product's life cycle, right? Then e-waste management rules, so producer responsibility related, right? कैसे क्या हो रहा है, राइट. दीज आर नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट, यूपीएससी भी इतना अंदर नहीं घुस के पूछेगी, राइट. इतना ये याद रखना है, एक्सटेंडेड प्रोड्यूसर रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो है, राइट, that is there in e-waste, first time introduced in e-waste management rules to 2011, right. Then next is battery waste management, right. So next topic, battery waste management, right. So इधर ये important है, see, R2 code of practices, right. R2 is what? See, R2 here stands for responsible recycling. Responsible recycling. Responsible recycling, right? R2 stands for responsible recycling, right? And R2 code of practices. R2 code of practices किसने किया? R2 code of practices is created by SERI, right? Created by SERI. That is, SERI is what? Sustainable Electronics Recycling International, right? You can write it, Sustainable Electronics Recycling International. इंटरनेशनल सस्टेनेबल इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स रिसाइकलिंग इंटरनेशनल सेरी ने R2 राइट रेस्पॉन्सिबल रिसाइकलिंग रिलीज किया. R2 कोड ऑफ प्रैक्टिसेस इंक्लूड ए टूल responsible for promoting environmentally responsible practices in electronics recycling industry. In electronics recycling industry में right R2 code of practices, R2 code of practices, right. So SEBI ने किया with respect to electronics recycling industry. Question was asked in 2021, right. 2021 में question आया हुआ, right. Then next is see battery waste management, right. Battery waste management, that is see environmental compensation guidelines for battery waste was issued by the Central Pollution Control Board. Central Pollution Control Board is dealing with battery waste, right. This you need to remember under battery waste management rules. Battery management rules 2022 ये भी है, right. Environmental compensation guidelines, right. What is it? Let's understand about environmental compensation, right. That is power of CPCB, that is 2020 rules to rules battery management rules 2022 empower the CPCB to impose and collect environmental compensation, right. CPCB, right. 2022 rules empower CPCB to impose and collect environmental compensation from producers and entities involved in refurbishment and recycling of waste batteries, right. To impose from producers and entities involved in waste batteries in case of non compliance of the rules. जो भी नॉन कंप्लेंस नहीं किया, राइट, प्रोड्यूसर्स एंड एंटिटीज उन पे एनवायरमेंटल कंपेंसेशन लागू होगा. एनवायरमेंटल कंपेंसेशन, राइट. देन एप्लीकेबिलिटी, इट कैन आल्सो बी लेविड ऑन एंटिटीज कैरिंग आउट एक्टिविटीज विदाउट registration, right, providing false information, willful concealment of material facts by the registered entities, etc., based on polluter pays principle, right. Levy, right. So it shall also be levied on producer operating with respect to non-fulfillment of their extended producer responsibility targets, obligations and out of these rules. So extended producer targets responsibilities meet भी नहीं कर रहा है, तब भी environmental compensation लागू कर सकता है, right. Additional EPR obligation, payment of environmental compensation, however, shall not absolve producer of EPR to set out under the rules. अगर environment compensation पे किया उसके बाद भी extended producer responsibility obligations follow करना पड़ेगा, right. Unfilled EPR obligation for a particular year will be carried forward to the next year, right. So basically they are strict rules, right, with respect to battery compensation पे करना पड़ेगा अगर आपने रूल्स को कंपाइल नहीं किया, राइट. बैटरी मैनेजमेंट रूल्स को कंप्लाई नहीं किया और एक्सटेंडेड प्रोड्यूसर रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, राइट, ये मीट नहीं किया, तब भी आपको पे करना पड़ेगा, राइट. देन की हाइलाइट्स ऑफ द गाइडलाइंस इश्यूड, राइट, दैट इज EC environmental compensation to be levied is divided into two regimes. That is, first is EC regime 1, that is environmental compensation will be levied to the producers for non-fulfillment of metal waste, will be levied to the producers for non-fulfillment of metal waste, right. That is for lead incident batteries and for lithium ion and other batteries, right, for EPR, right, levied to the producers non-fulfillment of metal wise भी आपने EPR targets नहीं किया, right, extended producer responsibility targets follow नहीं किया, then you have to pay environmental compensation, right. वो lead acid batteries हो, lithium ion batteries हो, other batteries. So that means you need to remember here lead acid batteries are also covered and the lithium ion batteries also covered, right. Then regime 2, EC will be levied to any entity for non-compliance of BMW rules based on application fees, right. Rules follow नहीं किया तब भी पे करना पड़ेगा, extended producer responsibility targets meet नहीं किया तब भी पे करना पड़ेगा आपको, right, on all types of batteries, lead acid batteries, lithium ion batteries or any electric batteries. So now let's also study about battery waste management rules. Management rules क्या है, right. Coverage, all types of batteries are covered, that is electric vehicles batteries, portable batteries, automotive batteries and industrial batteries. So all types of batteries are covered, ये important है. सीधा battery waste management rules भी prelims में question आ सकता है. Then specify extended producer responsibility. Extended producer responsibility क्या है वो भी specify किया, where Producers ensure collection, recycling, and refurbishment of waste batteries. Right? Election, that is compensation. Right? EC. Right? That is environmental compensation imposed for non-fulfillment of EPR targets are based on polluter pays principle. Right? Polluter pays principle. Right? Polluter pays principle क्या है? वो mention किया. Right? We know. Right? Then mandatory phase in targets have been set for using recycled material. Right? See again, recycled material use के लिए mandatory target set किया. Right? In new battery products, जैसे new battery products में recycled material use करना है, उसके लिए target set किया. Right? That is to achieve 20% by 2030-31 for both portable and EV batteries. It means by 2030 to 31 year तक, ठीक है, 20% ऑफ द बैटरीज जो प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है नया बैटरीज, राइट, उसमें 20% रिसाइकल्ड मटेरियल होना चाहिए. रिसाइकल्ड मटेरियल, राइट, उसमें रिसाइकल्ड मटेरियल यूज होना चाहिए. 20% रिसाइकल्ड मटेरियल, 20% जो है वो रिसाइकल्ड मटेरियल होना चाहिए. राइट. Right, so this is with respect to battery management waste. Right, guidelines क्या है, environmental compensation किन किन में पे करना पड़ेगा, and battery waste management rules. Right, important. Then next is plastic pollution. Right, so plastic pollution, right, you can simply read it. Many things with respect to plastic pollution are given. Right, जैसे India ranked third globally. Right, plastic pollution maybe. Right, then most common types of plastics and its use, so you can read them. See, polyethylene terephthalate, that is PET, right, used in beverage bottles. Then high density polyethylene, then polyvinyl chloride, PVC, right, PVC, polyvinyl chloride. Then low density polyethylene, then polypropylene, right, used in straws. Then polystyrene, right, so these are the things, right, most commonly used plastic materials. Right, then chemicals used in plastics and its health impact दिया. chemicals क्या क्या use होता है वो भी you need to remember. So that is vinyl chloride monomer, right, is used. You need to briefly remember them. Right, कभी पूछ सकता है कि following chemicals used in plastic. Then benzene and butadiene, right, benzene and butadiene are used in plastics. Right, so benzene pollution है, so benzene is used, benzene and butadiene are used in plastic. Then styrene is used. Then bisphenol A, this is very important, ये आएगा हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे. bisphenol A is a chemical used to make polycarbonate plastic. So bisphenol है, this is important, right, chemically काफी polluting है, right, used in plastic pollution. So directly prelims में क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, bisphenol A is associated with respect to, right, that is with respect to plastic pollution because it is used in making polycarbonate plastic. ये है टॉपिक, उधर डिस्कस करेंगे. राइट, देन इनिशिएटिव्स टेकन टू कर्ब प्लास्टिक पोल्यूशन. राइट, सो बहुत सारे चीजें दिया हुआ है. राइट, मेजरली ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, ग्लो लेटर इनिशिएटिव. राइट, ग्लो लेटर इनिशिएटिव, दैट इज प्रोजेक्ट बिटवीन द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ नॉर्वे, IMO, International Maritime Organization, and FAO, aiming to reduce sea-based marine plastic litter. So sea-based marine plastic litter उसके लिए है ग्लो लेटर प्रोग्राम. राइट, ग्लो लेटर प्रोग्राम बाय गवर्नमेंट ऑफ नॉर्वे, IMO, राइट, दैट इज इंटरनेशनल मैरीटाइम ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एंड FAO, फूड एंड एग्रीकल्चर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. राइट, उसके बाद इंपॉर्टेंट है दिस इज दिस वन, अनप्लास्टिक कलेक्टिव. राइट, अनप्लास्टिक कलेक्टिव इंडिया में, राइट, अनप्लास्टिक कलेक्टिव को फाउंडेड बाय CII, right, that is Confederation of Indian Industry, UNEP, and WWF India. Right, CII, UNEP, and WWF India. Right, that is Unplastic Collective. Right, Unplastic Collective co-founded by CII, UNEP, and WWF India. Right, now let's see with respect to microplastics. Right, microplastics क्या है? Right, simple. Microplastics are small plastic pieces less than 5 millimeters long. Right, plastic है less than 5 millimeters long, छोटे छोटे plastic, harmful to living organisms, there are two categories of microplastics, that is primary microplastics, that is जो produce किया, are tiny particles designed for commercial use such as cosmetics, clothing, etc. and microfibers shed from textiles, right? जो tiny particles है designed for commercial use such as cosmetics, clothing, right, and microfibers shed from textiles. Then next are secondary microplastics, are plastics that result from breakdown of large plastic items, right? लार्ज प्लास्टिक आइटम्स जैसे प्लास्टिक वाटर बॉटल है, उससे जो माइक्रोप्लास्टिक्स रिलीज होता है, तो दो आर सेकेंडरी माइक्रोप्लास्टिक्स, राइट? उनका हेल्थ इंपैक्ट, एनवायरमेंट इंपैक्ट यू कैन सिंपली रीड एंड दे आर वेरी हार्मफुल माइक्रोप्लास्टिक्स, राइट? देन नेक्स्ट इज प्लास्टिक ओवरशूट डे, इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, यू कैन सिंपली रीड इफ यू वांट, right? Other else it is not important. Then mercury pollution, again very important. Mercury pollution हमने cover किया, right? While discussing about Minamata Convention, we have discussed everything related to mercury, right? So UNEP has launched $137 million initiative to phase out mercury measuring devices in healthcare project. mercury measuring devices जैसे thermometers वगैरह में mercury use होता है, right? उनको phase out करने के लिए UNEP ने फंड निकाला, राइट? सो इसीलिए mercury इंपॉर्टेंट है. देखो कितना फंड्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आर स्पेंडिंग टू फेज आउट mercury, राइट? सो एम ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट इज फेज आउट thermometers, right, and sphygmomanometers at a rate of 20% annually and reduce mercury spillages from them. thermometers वगैरह यूज करके फेंकते हैं, राइट? उससे mercury रिलीज होगा, mercury pollutant होगा, राइट? देन encourage adoption of accurate, affordable and safe mercury free alternatives, right? thermometers की जगह जैसे electronic thermometers वगैरह यूज करो जो mercury यूज नहीं करते, right? While improving management of mercury maintaining waste materials. Members are, see, India is a member, right? So other Albano, Burkina Faso are also members. Then funding by Global Environment Facility is funding, right? Execution by World Health Organization, right? Funding by Global Environment Facility and execution by World Health Organization, right? Then mercury के बारे में दिया, right? Mercury is naturally occurring element found in air, water and soil, right? Naturally मिलती है इनमें, right? Naturally मिलती है, right? और certain level तक humans के लिए भी नुकसान नहीं है mercury, right? Certain level तक नुकसान नहीं है, but after certain limit mercury becomes very harmful to humans, right? So it is only metal, mercury is a metal which is found in liquid state at room temperature, right? रूम टेम्परेचर में ये लिक्विड स्टेट में मिलेगा, राइट? यू माइट हैव सीन इन केमिस्ट्री लैब्स, राइट? mercury एज ए लिक्विड फॉर्म में होती है, पकड़ नहीं पाते, राइट? सो इट इज ए persistent bioaccumulative and toxic pollutant, right? Then all humans are exposed to low levels of mercury, right? हम low levels of mercury के लिए exposed है and ये हानिकारक नहीं है, right? Right? Then several countries and international organizations have established reference levels for daily or weekly methyl mercury or mercury intakes that are estimated to be safe or, right, estimated to be safe or without appreciable risk to health, right? So humans we are exposed to certain levels, many organizations कि भाई इतने mercury level exposure है वो नुकसान नहीं है, but when it is unhealthy when the level of exposure is more, right? So sources of mercury are gold mining, right? Then coal based thermal power plants, right, and volcanic emissions etc. and all other things जैसे dental amalgams में यूज होता है, right? सब चीज हमने क्लास में डिस्कस किया, right? Then next is effect, right? Effect of mercury pollution से toxic effects on nervous, digestive and immune systems, lungs, kidneys, skin, eyes, right? Then Minamata disease also happens. Minamata disease is a chronic neurological disorder caused by methyl mercury, a heavy metal with many industrial uses. Then when released into environment, it accumulates in water-laid sediments where it converts into toxic methyl mercury and enters food chain. So when it enters into water, right, it converts into toxic methyl mercury and enters our food chain. And food chain से क्या ये bio amplification होती है, bio magnification होती है, right? So enter into higher levels and causes death, right? So we have already discussed it. जब बायो एक्यूमुलेशन, बायो मैग्निफिकेशन भी डिस्कस कर रहे थे, राइट? उस टाइम भी डीडीटी एंड mercury का एग्जांपल किया, राइट? सो अगेन mercury इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? देन नेक्स्ट मिनामाटा कन्वेंशन ऑन mercury वी हैव डन, राइट? सो उधर से पढ़ लो क्लास नोट से या इधर से, तो इधर से भी एक बार रीडिंग करो, राइट? देन persistent organic pollutants, so we have covered it extensively in the class, right? So if you want राइट. परसिस्टेंट इलेक्ट्रॉनिक persistent organic pollutants क्या है, क्या क्या examples है persistent organic pollutants, right? So we have discussed, right? So you can go and read, otherwise if you want you can read it from here also, right? persistent organic pollutants के लिए क्या है, स्टॉकहोम कॉन्फ्रेंस कैसे याद किया हमने, पॉप्स. persistent organic pollutants are called POPs. So POPs से जो S है, with us we will write Stockholm conference, Stockholm conference, right? persistent organic pollutants, right? So then next is the pollutants in use, DCPA or Dectol, Dectal or DCPA or Dectal. That is, right, US Environmental Pollution Protection Agency banned weed killing pesticide. Weed killing pesticide है dimethyl tetrachloroterephthalate, dimethyl tetrachloroterephthalate or DCPA or Dectal. DCPA or Dectal. DCPA or Dectal. So DCPA, it is used in crops such as broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage and onions. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage and onions में use होती है DCPA, right? So that is weed killing pesticides. इतना याद करना है, DCPA और Dectal, right? इसके अलावा ज्यादा कुछ याद करना नहीं है, right? Then next is bisphenol A, right? This is very important. I am expecting a question on it, right? In prelims, right? In this year or next year, they can ask, right? So that is, so negotiations are being conducted under the aegis of UNEP to address the plastic pollution, including BPA used in plastic packaging. So BPA is associated with plastic pollution. Bisphenol A is used in certain plastics, right? So BPA chemical primarily in production of polycarbonate plastics and epoxy resins, right? So BPA दिमाग में आना चाहिए प्लास्टिक, BPA plastic, right? BPA plastic, right? So used in polycarbonate plastic and epsin resins. So polycarbonate plastics are used in containers that store food and beverages, right? And epoxy resins are used to coat the inside of metal products such as food cans, bottle tops, etc. Right? Exposure to BPA can have health effects on brain and prostate gland of fetuses, infants, and child. Right? Then, right, this is bisphenol A. Right? It is major cause of plastic pollution. Right? Bisphenol A. Right? Then next is, this is also important. Question already 2024 prelims में आया हुआ है. Right? So that is perfluoroalkyl substances, right? PFAS, that is perfluoroalkyl substances and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Perfluoro and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Perfluoroalkyl substances, right? And polyfluoroalkyl substances, right? दो तरीके के substances है, right? So ये क्या है? These are basically forever chemicals, often dubbed as forever chemicals because these chemicals persist in environment and human bodies breaks down extremely slowly, right? They stay in environment for very long time and breaking down of these chemicals क्योंकि very tight bond होता है, right? Tight bond between carbon and fluoride, right? Tight bond की वजह से break down काफी मुश्किल है, right? And they stay in environment forever. So that's why they are called forever chemicals. So these are man-made chemicals used in, right? ये man-made chemicals है, सब के सब man-made chemicals है, right? दोनों पर और polyfluoroalkyl substances दोनों man-made chemicals है used in everyday products such as non-stick cookware, some cosmetics, etc. Non-stick cookware, some cosmetics. Exposure has been linked to several health issues including cardiovascular disease, cancer, etc. Right? So exposure has been linked to several health issues including cardiovascular. Right? Currently, 3 subgroups are listed under Stockholm Convention of Industrial Persistent Organs. So ये forever persistent, right? Persistence are forever chemicals, right? So 3 Stockholm Convention persistent organic pollutants, right? Stockholm Convention में ये 3 covered है. 3 subgroups of PFAS are listed under Stockholm Convention, right? So again, this is also important, right? Question पूछ चुका है 2024 में. This year it can be of bisphenol A. right? Then let's see next, that is soil acidification. Again, very important topic, very important, right? Very important, question can be asked anytime, right? Soil acidification kya hai, right? That is soil acidification is, soil acidification is, it is a process by which soil pH decreases over time, right? They are turning acidic. See, जैसे pH scale है, right? 0 to 14, right? And 7. So 0 to 7 है, they are acidic, and 7 to 14 they are basic. So acidic means, soil acidic means pH में soil decrease हो रहा है, right? Soil decreases, that means 7 से कम हो रहा है soil का pH, right? That is soil are becoming acidic, right? Then factors accelerating soil acidification are, right? J important है, that is leaching of nitrogen released from ammonia based fertilizers. So ammonia based fertilizer से, right, वो soil acidification के लिए primary reason, right? So this is reason one, right? Very important, ये सब याद करना है, right? Then organic residues from decomposition release organic acids, right? So again, organic residues from decomposition release organic acids. So this is second, right? Organic residues of on decomposition release organic acids release होता है, तो उससे acidification, basically जैसे मान ले पत्ते वत्ते गिर गया, right? उनको डिकम्पोज हो रहा है, राइट? उससे ऑर्गेनिक एसिड्स रिलीज होता है, तो उससे एसिडिक हो जाएगा. देन रूट्स ड्यूरिंग एक्टिव ग्रोथ स्टेजेस रिलीजेस CO2 इनटू सॉइल रिजल्टिंग इन फॉर्मेशन ऑफ कार्बोनिक एसिड. सो कार्बोनिक एसिड की वजह से सॉइल्स एसिड. सो दिस इज थर्ड रीजन. सो रूट से ड्यूरिंग एक्टिव रिलीजेस CO2 इनटू सॉइल, right, resulting in formation of carbonic acids, right? So three primary reasons. This is the most important, leaching of nitrogen from ammonium, because ये human induced है, right? Human induced soils are turning acid, right? Right? Then impact of soil acidification, loss of soil inorganic carbon, then loss of microbes, right? Then increased aluminum toxicity, right? Increased aluminum toxicity, ये भी याद करना है. Then rise in pathogenic fungi and decreased nutrient availability to plants, right? ये याद करना है. Increased aluminum toxicity, soil acidification से, so acidification leads to increased aluminum toxicity in soil, right? Then manage कैसे करना, ये भी managing acid soils. See, this is very important. Liming, that is incorporation of lime, gypsum or dolomite into upper cultivable soil layers. So ये important है. Question already आया हुआ. If you add lime, gypsum or dolomite into upper layers of the soil, it will reduce soil acidification. It will make soils from acidic to basic. So ये important है, liming, right? Liming से soil acidification कम होगा. अगर आया तो reasons मान ले soil acidification का, ये एक reason ये भी देगा, right? Adding lime and gypsum, right, to soil will increase acidification. Now this is solution to acid soil. So gypsum and lime and dolomite are solution to soil acidification. ये important है. Then using industrial byproducts, that is press mud from sugarcane industry, then basic slags from iron and steel industry. जैसे steel slag है, copper slag है, वो soil में add किया तो soil को acidity कम होगा, right? Agriculture में help होगा, right? Then steel industries and flue dust from cement plants can be used, right? ये करने से soil acidification कम होगा, right? ये एक point important है, प्रीलिम्स में कुछ भी आ सकता है ये, right? Then growing acid tolerance crops like sugar cane and bananas. Again very important point. Sugar cane और banana crops grow करके soil का acidity कम कर सकता है, right? So that's why this is very important. ये UPSC का favorite topic है with respect to agriculture and soil acidification, right? अच्छे से कवर करना है, right? Then next is biocover, right? Biocover is a recent study has proved, right? Biocover, चलो देखते हैं, ये पढ़ते पहले. Biocover, a recent study has proposed a sustainable approach of microbial methane oxidation system, right, called as biocover, to control fugitive methane emissions from old dump sites, right? So biocover, right, recent study has proposed a sustainable approach of microbial methane oxidation system, right? Basically कुछ नहीं है, right? जैसे मान ले डंपिंग साइट्स है, लैंडफिल साइट्स, राइट? लैंडफिल साइट्स में एक बायो कवर बनाओ ऊपर, राइट, बायो कवर, राइट, विच हेल्प्स इन ग्रोथ ऑफ मीथेन यूटिलाइजिंग बैक्टीरिया, राइट, मीथेन यूटिलाइजिंग बैक्टीरिया को ग्रो करेगी, राइट, इसमें, राइट, उससे क्या होगा, मीथेन पोल्यूशन कम होगा फ्रॉम लैंडफिल्स, दैट्स इट, दैट इज द बायो कवर, राइट, इतना याद करना है, राइट, सो दिस इज बायो कवर्स आर porous material layers, right, laid directly on top of a landfill, laid directly on top of a landfill, which is then covered by an oxidizing layer of mature compost, oxidizing layer of mature compost, which is then covered by, right, उसके ऊपर कवर करेंगे ऑक्सीडाइजिंग लेयर ऑफ मेच्योर कंपोस्ट, राइट, तो इधर भी कंपोस्ट, मेच्योर कंपोस्ट आएगा, राइट, उससे क्या होगा, राइट, जैसे लेयर बनाया बायो लेयर, राइट, देन मेच्योर कंपोस्ट से कवर कर लिया, राइट, मेच्योर कंपोस्ट से कवर कर लिया, राइट, देन इट प्रोवाइड्स ऑप्टिमल कंडीशंस फॉर मेथनोट्रोफिक मीथेन यूटिलाइजिंग बैक्टीरिया, राइट, सो ये मीथेन यूटिलाइजिंग बैक्टीरिया को थ्राइव करेगी एंड एक्ट एज बायोफिल्टर्स, हेंस कंट्रोल मीथेन एमिशंस बाय कन्वर्टिंग मीथेन टू CO2, सो मीथेन एमिशंस को कंट्रोल करेगी, राइट, सो दैट इज बायो कवर, राइट, इतना याद करना जरूरी, राइट, उससे ज्यादा कुछ है नहीं इसमें, राइट, देन नेक्स्ट इज ग्रास होपर इफेक्ट, ग्रास होपर इफेक्ट, राइट, ग्रास होपर इफेक्ट क्या है, राइट, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड इट, ठीक है, जैसे प्लास्टिक वेस्ट है, राइट, एंड सर्टेन टॉक्सिक केमिकल्स जो है, राइट, दे आर गोइंग एंड गेटिंग एक्यूमुलेटेड इन हायर ट्रॉपिक लेवल्स, जैसे अंटार्कटिका एंड आर्कटिक एरियाज में एक्सपोर्ट, राइट, स्टेबल हो रहा है, मूविंग फ्रॉम लोअर लेवल्स, लोअर ट्रॉपिक लेवल्स, जैसे इक्वेटर या इधर से रिलीज तो इधर ही हो रहा है, मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल आर स्टेइंग हियर ओनली, राइट, एंड jumping from here and getting stored in higher tropics, that is called grasshopper effect, right, grasshopper effect, right, let's discuss, see, plastic and toxic chemicals from the world deposit and accumulate in arctic, making the arctic a hemispheric sink, right, either hemispheric sink, here hemisphere sink, right, hemispheric sink ban raha hai, right, जैसे ये देखो द आर्कटिक्स प्लास्टिक क्राइसिस, सो आर्कटिक एरिया में प्लास्टिक पोल्यूशन, अब उधर तो कोई रिलीज नहीं कर रहा है, सो हियर से दे गेट एंड गोइंग एंड एक्यूमुलेटिंग इन आर्कटिक, सो टॉक्सिक थ्रेट्स टू हेल्थ, ह्यूमन राइट्स एंड इंडिजिनियस लैंड्स फ्रॉम द पेट्रोकेमिकल इंडस्ट्री रिपोर्टेड टॉक्ड अबाउट grasshopper effect, right, that is the grasshopper, these are transported on atmospheric and ocean currents from lower latitudes through process known as global distillation or grasshopper effect, grasshopper effect, right, उसको बोलते हैं grasshopper effect, right, the chemicals threaten the environment and health of arctic people, right, examples of the chemicals are polyaromatic hydrocarbons and bisphenols, right, again bisphenol A, plastic, right, so ये है, so अब देखो bisphenol देखो कितने जगह आया, right, so that's why bisphenol A, BPA are important, bisphenol A, right, BPA are important, right, now let's see next, that is aquatic deoxygenation and planetary boundaries, right, so planetary boundaries concept, aquatic deoxygenation and planetary boundaries, right, they basically experts called for recognition of aquatic deoxygenation as a new planetary boundary, right, इसमें planetary boundary क्या है वो डिस्कस करेंगे, right, पहले देखते हैं aquatic deoxygenation, right, इसको भी planet boundary में include, aquatic deoxygenation is, right, is the overall decline in oxygen content of oceanic and coastal waters, right, decline of oxygen content of oceanic and coastal waters, oceanic and coastal waters happen when oxygen consumption is greater than oxygen replenishment, right, happens when oxygen consumption is greater than oxygen replenishment, right, oxygen replenishment, right, that is aquatic deoxygenation, that is decline in oxygen content of ocean and coastal waters, right, so अब इसको भी न्यू प्लैनेटरी बाउंड्रीज में इंक्लूड करने के लिए बोल रहा है, अब व्हाट आर प्लैनेट बाउंड्रीज, प्लैनेटरी बाउंड्रीज, राइट, प्लैनेटरी बाउंड्रीज क्या है, लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड इट, सी प्लैनेटरी बाउंड्रीज, देयर आर 9 प्लैनेटरी बाउंड्रीज, राइट, सी 9 planetary boundaries, that is climate change, novel entities, stratospheric ozone depletion, atmospheric aerosol loading, ocean acidification, biogeochemical flows, freshwater change, land system change, and biosphere integrity. Right? These are 9 planetary boundaries. 9 planetary boundaries. Right? So it can be asked prelims में by which of the following are planetary boundaries, right? और planetary boundaries है क्या? Right? Planetary boundaries वो है, right? Planetary boundaries जो है भाई ये एक boundaries which are important, अगर इसको एक बार क्रॉस किया, right? जैसे टिपिंग पॉइंट, राइट? एक बार कुछ भी टिपिंग पॉइंट से ये बाहर आ गया, रिवर्सल इज नॉट पॉसिबल, एंड tipping point से आ गया तो it will have adverse impact on climate change and biodiversity, right? So these are planetary boundaries of our planet, right? So ये एक tipping point से ये और destroy हो गया तो it will have very adverse effect on earth, right? So planet boundaries क्या है? अब planetary boundaries में क्या, most of the planet we see except जैसे ये स्केल बनाया, इधर तक टिपिंग ये है तो कोई नुकसान ही नहीं है, राइट? इधर तक है तो कोई नुकसान ही नहीं है. अब इफ यू सी इन दिस डायग्राम, सी हियर दिस इज द टिपिंग पॉइंट ऑफ दिस प्लैनेट बाउंड्रीज, राइट? इफ यू सी ये इधर तक रीच हुआ, राइट? ये इधर तक रीच हुआ, राइट? ये इधर तक रीच हुआ, राइट? ये इधर तक रीच हुआ, ये इधर तक, इधर, राइट? सो दैट मींस दे ऑलरेडी एक्सीडेड सेफ ऑपरेटिंग स्पेस से, ये लोग बाहर गए, बहुत बाहर गए, राइट? अब देखो बायोस्फीयर इंटीग्रिटी इतना बाहर गया, राइट? सो बायोजियो साइकिल्स इतना बाहर, दैट मींस दे ऑलरेडी आर आउट ऑफ टिपिंग पॉइंट, राइट? इनको कम करना काफी मुश्किल है एंड दे विल हैव वेरी एडवर्स इफेक्ट्स, राइट? सो अब आउट ऑफ 9 6 planetary boundaries already reached their limit, already overcome their limits. अब 3 ही ऐसा है वो रीच नहीं हुआ लिमिट्स. वो क्या है 3? अब देखो ये 3, राइट? दीज 3, सी स्ट्रेटोस्फेरिक ओजोन डिप्लीशन, राइट? ये टिपिंग पॉइंट नहीं हुआ, इधर तक इतना स्पेस है, राइट? इधर तक अभी कोई नुकसान नहीं है, राइट? देन एटमॉस्फेरिक एरोजोल लोडिंग, राइट? ये भी थोड़ा स्पेस है. देन ओशनिक एसिडिफिकेशन, ओशन एसिडिफिकेशन है, राइट? ये बस थोड़ा बचा हुआ है, राइट? सो बाकी सब क्रॉस किया, राइट? सो आउट ऑफ 9 6 ऑलरेडी क्रॉस्ड, राइट? सो 3 आर इन कंट्रोल, राइट? इन कंट्रोल दे आर. 9 याद करना है आपको. सी स्ट्रेटोस्फेरिक ओजोन डिप्लीशन, राइट? एटमॉस्फेरिक एरोजोल लोडिंग, देन ओशन एसिडिफिकेशन. दीज 3 आर इन कंट्रोल नाउ, राइट? उनको मैनेज करना है. देन इनको रिवर्सल करना है, दैट इज बायोजियोकेमिकल फ्लोस, दैट इज phosphorus cycle, right? Nitrogen cycle, etc. Biogeochemical flows, then fresh water change, then land system change, then biosphere integrity, climate change, and novel entities. Novel entities is what? Right? Introducing new elements or substances into environment, right? वो भी नुकसानदायक है. So अब proposal क्या है? एक और ऐड करो, that is aquatic deoxygenation, right? So that means 10 करो, right? Aquatic deoxygenation भी planet boundaries में include करो, right? So that is the concept with respect to planet boundaries, right? Let's go to the notes and we will study it. See, right? Planetary boundaries. Planetary boundary are a framework to describe limits to impact of human activities. Describe limits to impact of human activities on Earth system. Beyond these limits, environment may not be able to self-regulate anymore. Right? So there are 9 planetary boundaries. Right? हमने discuss किया. ये 9 इधर mention किया. वही 9. Right? 6 of the 9 boundaries have been transgressed. Right? 6 have been transgressed except ocean acidification, stratospheric ओजोन डिप्लीशन एंड एटमॉस्फेरिक एरोजल लोडिंग. सो बाकी 6 है वो ट्रांसग्रेस्ड किया, राइट? अभी इसको भी एक्वेटिक डीऑक्सीजनेशन है, इसको भी 10th प्लैनेटरी बाउंड्री बनाओ. दैट इज द सजेशन बाय द एक्सपर्ट्स, राइट? सो दैट इज विथ रेस्पेक्ट टू प्लैनेटरी बाउंड्रीज एंड एक्वेटिक डीऑक्सीजनेशन, राइट? नाउ लेट्स सी नेक्स्ट. सी दैट इज कार्बोनेट कंपेंसेशन डेप्थ. carbonate compensation depth. Research indicates that carbonate compensation depth is expanding. Carbonate compensation depth is expanding. See, carbon compensation depth is defined as the water depth at which the rate of supply of calcium carbonate from the surface is equal to the rate of dissolution. Right? So calcium carbonate, right? They get accumulated. That is, see, water depth at which rate of calcium carbonate from the surface is equal to the rate of dissolution. Rate of supply of calcium carbonate, right? Rate of supply of calcium carbonate from the surface is equal to the rate of dissolution, right? Right. So basically, it is associated with deep ocean, deep ocean acidification, right? It is associated with deep ocean acidification, because of increased CO2 concentration, right? So deep ocean it is associated with deep ocean acidification, right? Because of increased CO2 concentration, right? इतना इंपॉर्टेंट है नहीं, बेसिकली ये करना है. कार्बोनेट कंपनसेशन डेप्थ इज एसोसिएटेड विद डीप ओशन एसिडिफिकेशन. भाई डीप ओशन में भी oceans are becoming acidic if we increase the depth of carbonate compensation depth, right? Then next is hydrogel, right? Hydrogel, let's watch a video, right? You will get clarity कि hydrogel क्या है, right? So
जब भी आप किसी घर गए होंगे तो आपने वहाँ के डाइनिंग रूम पे इस तरीके की कुछ रंग बिरंगी बॉल देखी होंगी, या कुछ ऐसी बॉल्स देखी होंगी जो लगता होगा कि यार इसमें लिक्विड भरा हुआ है, बड़ी सुंदर लगती है देखने में. आपको बता दूं ये है आपके हाइड्रोजेल. नाउ हाइड्रोजेल जो होते हैं ये बड़े इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट केमिकल कंपाउंड की तरह होता है. इनकी सबसे खास बात ये होती है कि ये क्या करते हैं, पानी को सोख लेते हैं. यानी कि देख सकते हो छोटी सी हाइड्रोजेल बॉल्स आपकी अगर इनको पानी के अंदर रखोगे तो इतनी बड़े साइज की हो जाती हैं, जो कि ईजिली अवेलेबल है. ये केवल डेकोरेशन पर्पज के लिए यूज नहीं होते, बल्कि इनके बहुत सारे यूज है. यानी कि हाइड्रोजेल का इस्तेमाल हम लोग ड्रेसिंग में कर सकते हैं. कोई आपको चोट लग गई वहां पे लेंसेज में, यानी कि जो कॉन्टैक्ट लेंस बनाते हो वो हाइड्रोजेल के होते हैं. ड्रग्स जो, यानी कि बहुत सारी ऐसी मेडिसिन है जो हाइड्रोजेल की बनती हैं. डायपर्स, डिस्पोजेबल डायपर्स हाइड्रोजेल के होते हैं. और साथ ही साथ एग्रीकल्चर एंड टिश्यू इंजीनियरिंग में भी इसका बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल है. तो आई होप आपको पसंद आया होगा कि हाइड्रोजेल्स जो बहुत सारी चीजें आसपास देखते हो वो एक्चुअल में हाइड्रोजेल की बड़ी मदद से बनी होती हैं. तो हाइड्रोजेल इज एन इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर एन इंजीनियरिंग एप्लीकेशन.
So you have watched the video hydrogels, right? Common चीजें हमने सबने देखा ही होगा, right? So hydrogel has many benefits. One of the benefits is Indian Institute of Sciences have designed a novel hydrogel to remove microplastics from water. ठीक है, पानी में हाइड्रोजेल डालेंगे, right? It absorbs microplastics from water, right? Other जो भी है हाइड्रोजेल is a unique intervened polymer network that can bind microplastic and degrade them using ultraviolet light radiation, right? So basically hydrogels applications: hygiene products, toothpaste, medical applications, contact lens, drug delivery system, then industrial lubricants, air conditioning में, and we have seen agriculture में भी कैसे वो होता है वीडियो में, right? Hydrogels, right? Again easy, right? Then next is bioplastics. So bioplastics के लिए you also watch a video, right? You will get clarity.
In this session, we are talking about bioplastic, a solution to plastic pollution crisis. Plastic waste is harming our planet, but bioplastics are different. They are made up from renewable resources like cornstarch, sugarcane, vegetable fats, and oil. Additionally, they biodegrade in the environment. For example, PLA, polylactic acid, is a bioplastic made from cornstarch. It is used in packaging, disposable, and also in 3D printing. Another type of bioplastic is PHAs, polyhydroxyalkanoates, which are produced by bacteria and used to make biodegradable plastic products. Scientists are working to create even better bioplastic with greater strength, durability, and resistance to heat.
Right? You have watched a video on bioplastics, right? Bioplastics are bioplastics, right? Plastics है, right? Which are biodegradable, right? So they are bio-based polymers produced from renewable sources including carbohydrates, vegetable oils, etc. in the presence of microorganisms. degradable by microbes such as fungi, bacteria, and yeast, leading to production of CO2, water, and biomass. That is alternative to plastic with similar physical properties to synthetic plastics. Right? Plastics is and to have low carbon footprint. Right? Basically, they can replace plastic. Plastic pollution काफी ज्यादा हो रहा है. Plastics biodegradable नहीं है. Right? Bioplastics are biodegradable. Right? So recently, some smallholder farmers of Nagaland are replacing plastics with compostable bioplastic bags made from cassava starch. Right? In fact, you can note this point, that is seaweed are also used in plastic making. Right? Bioplastic होगा वो. Right? Are also used in plastic making. Right? Plastic making. That is right. Seaweed can also be used as bioplastics. Right? Bioplastic, biodegradable hai, right? And in video we have seen that is PLAs, right? And PHAs. PHAs are used as PLAs and PHAs, right? Are used as bioplastics. Right? ये simply ये पूछ सकता है PLAs, PHAs क्या है? Right? They are bioplastics. Right? The next is steel slag. Steel slag. Right? Again, watch a video. Right? On steel slag, you will get clarity. Steel slag है क्या? क्या applications है?
The red liquid that has fallen into the pit is not molten iron, but rather steel-making slag. This slag, also known simply as steel slag, is a byproduct generated during the steel production process. Typically, this slag floats on the surface. To improve the quality of the steel, it is necessary to remove and properly dispose of this slag. At this stage, the temperature of the steel slag can reach over 1,000 degrees. However, it cannot be directly cooled with water because the slag contains a large amount of oxides, and due to its high temperature, it can easily react with water and cause explosions. The best method is to pour it onto the ground and let it cool naturally. Of course, the cooled slag isn't wasted. After processing, it can be used for paving roads, making cement, and other construction materials, making it quite useful.
Steel slag roads are becoming increasingly popular in India, as they offer many advantages over traditional road materials. What if I told you that steel slag roads are not only better for the environment, but they're also more cost-effective? According to CRRI principal scientist Satish Pandey, the construction cost of steel slag roads is 30% cheaper than roads built from natural aggregate. That's right, you heard me, 30% cheaper. And not only that, but the thickness of the road is also 30% lesser than normal ones, while the durability is much longer due to the utilization of steel slag. In fact, they're already constructing 100% steel slag roads across the country as part of their mission to improve infrastructure.
Right? So you have watched video steel slag. As you seen, steel slag is a solid waste generated from process of steel making. Right? It is composed of oxides of calcium, iron, silicon, and magnesium. Right? Then key applications. Right? Road base coarse material. Right? Road में material use कर सकते हैं. That is steel slag road technology. Right? So steel slag road technology. Right? Video में देखा steel slag road technology का benefits क्या है? Right? See, benefits of steel slag road technology is improved durability of road. Right? ज़्यादा साल durable रहेंगे roads. Right? Then improved skid resistance. गाड़ी वगैरह टायर skid नहीं होंगे. Right? Then economical than bituminous. Right? So economical भी है ये. And road ये thin roads बनेंगे. Right? इसलिए cost भी कम होगा. Right? Cost कितना कम होगा? 30% of the cost कम होगा normal road से. अगर स्टील स्लैग यूज करेंगे तो. राइट? सो स्टील स्लैग रोड टेक्नोलॉजी में यूज होगा स्टील स्लैग. देन ब्लेंडिंग मटेरियल फॉर पोर्टलैंड सीमेंट. राइट? पोर्टलैंड सीमेंट में ब्लेंडिंग मटेरियल यूज करेंगे. देन फर्टिलाइजर एंड सॉइल इंप्रूवमेंट एक्सेट्रा. सो एज ए फर्टिलाइजर भी यूज कर सकते हैं स्टील स्लैग को. राइट? इनफैक्ट यूपीएससी हैज आस्क्ड ए क्वेश्चन. लेट्स लुक एट दैट क्वेश्चन. सी, दिस इज क्वेश्चन आस्क्ड इन 2020 UPSC prelims paper. That is, steel slag can be a material for which of the following? It is construction of base road, right? Improvement of agriculture soil में steel slag mix करेंगे तो soil में, right? It will reduce the acidity of the soil, right? Then production of cement में we can use steel slag. So option D is the answer, right? So steel slag, right? Question already पूछा हुआ है, right? So that is steel slag, very important. Steel slag road technology में भी question आ सकता है. राइट? वीडियो में भी डिस्कस किया. इंप्रूव क्वालिटी. राइट? इंडिया इज doing, right? Guidelines for utilization and processing of steel slag in road construction released by Central Road Research Institute, right? Then aerobiology advancements, इतना कुछ है नहीं, you can simply read it. Aerobiology is study and movement of impacts of airborne biological particles or bioaerosols on human, animal and plant health. Bioaerosols include bacteria, fungi, spores, etc. Right? Bioaerosols reflect change in biodiversity. Simply read it. इतना वो है नहीं. Then gas flaring, right? Global gas flaring tracking report released by Global Gas Flaring Tracker report has been released by World Bank, right? World Bank ने release किया. Basically क्या है, right? Gas flaring is refers to burning of natural gas associated with oil exploration. ईरान में ये काफी न्यूज में था, right? There is large scale gas flaring, right? जो भी natural gas production है, right? उसमें, right? Burning of natural gas, right? आग वाग लग रहा था, right? उसीलिए ये न्यूज में gas flaring, right, refers to burning of natural gas associated with oil extraction, right? Then it leads to safety concerns, etc., right? Then global gas flaring in 20 has increased, right? Increase हुआ, right? Majorly रशिया, जहां भी oil exploration, gas exploration हो रहा है उधर ज्यादा है, right? So then next is light pollution, right? Nighttime light pollution is linked to Alzheimer's risk, right? Alzheimer's risk पे light pollution हुआ, right? So that is there. Then next is biobitumen, right? Biobitumen again very important, right? Light pollution का you can simply read it. Biobitumen is important, right? So biobitumen, so context क्या है, right? So first let's watch a video, right? Video देखो, right? Then
India's first bio-bitumen based national highway stretch was inaugurated नागपुर महाराष्ट्र के अंदर by Union Minister नितिन गडकरी. Bio-bitumen एक bio-based binder है that is derived from renewable sustainable sources जैसे vegetable oils, crop stubble, algae, lignin. एक alternative है ये to traditional bitumen. इसकी production जो है वो reduce करती है dependence on petroleum. इसके significance obviously bio-bitumen है तो it will reduce the carbon footprint also. दूसरा, by using the renewable sources like lignin you are mitigating the environmental concerns like stubble burning, greenhouse gas emissions कम होंगे. इंडिया जो इतना heavily import करता है traditional bitumen वो import dependency कम होगी. Bio bitumen stimulates bio refineries also, इससे opportunities create होंगी for revenue generation. Farmers के लिए economic benefit होगा and the bio refinery industry also.
Right? You have watched the video. That is Union Minister, right? Nitin Gadkari, Union Transport Minister, inaugurated India's first national highway made with biobitumen. Biobitumen in Nagpur Mansar Bypass National Highway 44. Right? Biobitumen से रोड बना. अब bitumen क्या है? Biobitumen से पहले bitumen क्या है? वो देखना है हमें. See, bitumen is a black substance derived from distillation of crude oil. जब रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन में हम tar black substance, right, यूज करते हैं, right? So that is bitumen, right? Black substance derived from distillation of crude oil. Crude oil से distillation से ये आता है, right? ये रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन में यूज होता है. जैसे ब्लैक कलर तार रोड्स जो यूज होता है, right? The tar, black tar is bitumen, right? So is black substance derived from known for adhesive properties. Known for adhesive properties, it is mainly used in road paving and waterproofing applications. Right? Road paving and road में भी इसीलिए यूज करते हैं bitumen. Right? Bitumen जब रोड पे यूज किया तो वाटर उसके अंदर नहीं घुसेगा. Right? अंदर नहीं घुसेगा तो रोड खराब नहीं होगा. So basically it is known for waterproofing applications. Right? जहां भी यूज किया रोड में भी bitumen यूज करते हैं. अब biobitumen क्या है? That is bitumen only. Right? Biobitumen is bitumen made from biological sources, made from substances, right? Made from जैसे waste material है, right? जैसे stubble है, right? जैसे lignin है, right? और bio oil है, उनसे बनाएंगे bitumen, that is called biobitumen, right? Biobitumen, right? So अब इसमें crude oil use नहीं करेंगे, so that is sustainable, right? So biobitumen कैसे बनाते हैं, right? Biobitumen is जैसे मान ले stubble burning, stubble, right? Crop stubble है, waste, which is boiled at 500 degrees Celsius. 500 degrees Celsius तक boil करेंगे, right? So that will lead to, right? That will release create bitumen, bitumen produce होगा, right? That is called biobitumen, right? या soil waste material जैसे waste है, right? Solid waste जो हम generate करते हैं उसको भी 500 degrees में boil करके pyrolysis in the absence of oxygen, right? In the absence of oxygen boil करेंगे, so वो bitumen बनेगा, right? So biobitumen is a petroleum free alternative to bitumen manufactured from organic elements. Alternative to bitumen manufactured from organic elements. Biochar, example are biochar, ये bio bitumen है, right? Then stubble से भी बना सकते हैं. Then lignin and bio oil, इन सबको pyrolysis 500 degree Celsius in the absence of oxygen burn किया तो bio bitumen आएगा, right? And bio bitumen रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन में यूज हो रहा है. रोड फर्स्ट NH रोड बना bio bitumen से, right? So उससे क्या हमारा imports on crude oil में कम होगा, right? Foreign X reserve सेव कर सकता है, right? So that's why government is pushing it. Then benefits are reduced imports, address issue of stubble burning. अब देखो stubble burning, stubble तो burn कर रहा है, अभी क्या कर सकते हैं जो bitumen manufacturing company से they can buy the stubble, right? They can burn it in pyrolysis technique, right? So stubble burning का issue खत्म हो जाएगा. Then boosting bioeconomy को भी boost करेगा, right? Then other sustainable methods of road construction is copper slag, geotextiles, cold asphalt mix, etc. Right? So ये question आया है, right? Sustainable road. Let's discuss that question. See, this is question asked in UPSC 2020 paper, right? So in rural road construction, the use of which of the following is preferred for ensuring environmental sustainability or to reduce carbon footprint, right? Road construction में, right? Which of the following is preferred for ensuring environmental sustainability or to reduce carbon footprint? Reduce carbon footprint. वो क्या है, right? See, one is copper slag. Copper slag जैसे steel slag है, right? Steel slag, right? Steel का leftover waste है. Similarly, copper का leftover waste is copper slag. तो copper slag, steel slag को जैसे रोड में मिक्स करके मटेरियल यूज कर सकते हैं, सो स्टील स्लैग को भी यूज कर सकता है. सो दैट इज अगर स्टील वेस्ट को हम यूज कर रहे हैं रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन में, देन दैट विल रिड्यूस द कार्बन फुटप्रिंट. सो दिस इज करेक्ट, राइट? देन cold mix asphalt technology. See, asphalt is basically what? Asphalt is bitumen only, right? Asphalt is nothing but bitumen, right? Bitumen और sand को mix करेंगे, right? वो asphalt बनेगा. So cold mix, right? जब mix करेंगे तो वो एक होता है cold mix and दूसरा होता है hot mix, right? अब hot mix के लिए we'll be using, गर्म करने के लिए coal etc will be using, so that will be taking so much of energy and so much of air pollutants भी रिलीज होगा. जब गर्म करेंगे चीजें, right? हवा में pollutants भी निकलेगा, so that is not environmentally sustainable. So hot mix is not environmentally sustainable. On the other hand, cold mix है तो we won't be, there is no need to heat, right? So cold mix asphalt technology is sustainable road technology, right? Then geotextiles, so geotextiles can be used, right? Then Portland cement, basically cement, right? So cement में भाई cement production के लिए भी बहुत pollutants है, environmentally sustainable नहीं है, right? So Portland is also, cement is also not sustainable method. So 1, 2 and 3 are, so hot mix में basically we are burning, right? So air pollutants and other energy consumption, so that is not sustainable. So 4 is eliminated, right? And 5 is eliminated, right? That is 1, 2, 3 are rural road construction. Which of the following preferred environmentally sustainable or reduce carbon footprint? That is copper slag, right? Either steel slag भी दिया, that also reduce, right? And biobitumen दिया, right? That can also reduce, right? So these are the sustainable road technology techniques. So 2020 में question आया हुआ, right? So that is with respect to biobitumen, bitumen and a sustainable road technology, right? So now let's move to next topic, that is white category industries. White category industries again पूछ सकते हैं question, right? White category industry sectors will now not require prior permission of state pollution control boards to establish and operates under Air Act, Water Act 1974, right? So white category sector industries है, उनको prior permission from state pollution control board से permission की जरूरत नहीं है, right? We have discussed ठीक है, जब ये एक्ट्स डिस्कस कर रहे थे कैसे इंडस्ट्रीज एस्टैब्लिशमेंट के लिए स्टेट पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड से परमिशन चाहिए, राइट. सो द परमिशंस ऑफिशियली नोन एज कंसेंट टू एस्टैब्लिश एंड कंसेंट टू ऑपरेट और granted to regulate industries that discharge effluents or emit pollutants into the environment, right. White category industries will have to inform state through self declaration, right. So permission की जरूरत नहीं है. Then white category sectors क्या है? Those industries which are practically non polluting are categorized as white category by Central Pollution Control Board, right. Example, wind and solar power projects, assembly of air coolers, bicycle assembly, etc., right. White category industries. So categorization of industrial sectors based on pollution index scores, right. So white category, right, sectors with minimal or no pollution impact, pollution index up to 20, example wind and solar. So white category industries, right, pollution कम करती है, right. Then red category industries with high pollution impact. So red category industries है high pollution impact, example mining is very polluting, so red category, right. Then green category, right, sectors with low to moderate pollution impact, example rice or flour mills, right, pollution index from 20 to 40, 21 to 40. Then orange category, sectors with moderate to high pollution impact, example food processing. So basically, right, 0 to 20 है, 20 है white. Then green, that is 21 to 40, that is green, right. Then 41 to 59, that is orange, right. Then 60 to above, that is red, right. So these are the four categorization of industrial sectors based on pollution index scores, right. White category, red category, green category, and orange category, right. So then emissions from rocket and satellite launch, right. So emission rocket or satellite launch से भी emissions आ रहा है, right. So that is the atmospheric impact of rocket launches. Alumina and black carbon soot, right, absorb trap long wave radiation, right, ये निकलती है, right, leading to warming and ozone depletion. Then carbon dioxide, right, ये भी निकलती है each rocket, CO2. Then metallic ash, right. Then green rockets propelled with liquid hydrogen produce water vapor, which is a greenhouse gas in high latitude. So ग्रीन रॉकेट से जैसे लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन यूज करती है, वो वाटर वेपर प्रोड्यूस करती है, राइट. गैसेस नहीं रिलीज करती, राइट. वाटर वेपर है तो ग्रीन हाउस इफेक्ट तो होता ही है, राइट. वाटर वेपर वी हैव, राइट. देन एक्सेप्ट दैट उनका सॉल्यूशन है, यू कैन सिंपली रीड एंड राइट अंडरस्टैंड. देन नेक्स्ट इज एनुअल लैंड यूज एंड लैंड कवर एटलॉस ऑफ इंडिया, राइट. यू कैन सी सिंपली यू कैन रिमेंबर दीज फैक्ट्स, राइट. बेसिकली खरीफ एंड रबी क्रॉपलैंड एक्सपैंड हुआ, राइट. फॉलो लैंड डिमिनिश्ड, राइट. फैलो लैंड जो खाली लैंड होता है, बंजार लैंड, दैट इज डिक्रीज्ड. देन डबल ट्रिपल एनुअल क्रॉपिंग एरियाज हैव इंक्रीज्ड, राइट. एंड वेरियस क्रॉप्स आर सोन एंड हार्वेस्टेड ट्वाइस, राइट. देन शिफ्टिंग कल्टीवेशन डिक्रीज हुआ 2016 से, राइट. डिक्लाइन हुआ, राइट. देन बिल्ड अप एरिया बढ़ गया, राइट. शोस एन इंक्रीज विद ओवरऑल ग्रोथ ऑफ 30% सिंस 2005. बेसिकली बिल्डिंग्स वगैरह बन रहा है तो वो बढ़ गया, राइट. दैट इज द बेसिक फैक्ट्स. Then Central Pollution Control Board है, right. We have already discussed it in the class notes, right. So you can study it from the class notes, right. अच्छे से mention किया हुआ, उधर acts वगैरह सब discuss किया, right. So और नहीं है तो पढ़ना है तो ये important है, right. 2 बार क्वेश्चन भी आ चुका है, पढ़ना है तो इधर से पढ़ सकते हैं. नोट्स में we have discussed, क्लास में भी अच्छे से डिस्कस किया, right. The next is organizations in use. One is नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल, राइट. नेशनल ग्रीन ट्रिब्यूनल, राइट. वेरी पॉलिटी में भी आया, लक्ष्मीकांत वगैरह में भी दिया, राइट. सो बेसिकली डिस्कस करते हैं. एनजीटी stated that गंगा रिवर इज फेसिंग फ्लड प्लेन एनक्रोचमेंट हो रहा है, राइट. सो इट हैज प्रिंसिपल प्लेस सिटिंग इज इन न्यू दिल्ली एंड 4 others are in Bhopal, Pune, Kolkata and Chennai, right. It is a statutory body established under NGT Act 2010, right, and headed by chairman with 10 to 20 judicial as well as expert members, right, guided by principles of natural justice and not bound by code of civil procedure, right. Principles of natural justice and not bound by the code of civil procedure, right. Then it has powers of civil code, power to take suo motu cognizance and power to grant relief in the form of compensation and damages to affected people. अब देखो ये भी है, पावर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कंपनसेशन भी ग्रांट कर सकती है एंड डैमेजेस टू अफेक्टेड पर्संस. बेसिकली जैसे कुछ लोगों को 5 करोड़ तक कंपनसेशन भी दिया, राइट. पावर टू ग्रांट रिलीफ इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कंपनसेशन, ये पॉइंट इंपॉर्टेंट है. देन मैंडेट, इट इज ए स्पेशलाइज्ड जुडिशियल बॉडी equipped with expertise solely to adjudicate environmental cases in the country, right. किस किस एक्ट्स के अंदर कर सकती है, राइट. दीज आर द एक्ट्स, राइट. दैट इज वाटर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन एक्ट, देन वाटर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन सेस एक्ट. ये दोनों इंक्लूडेड है, यू नीड टू रिमेंबर इट, राइट. प्रीलिम्स में क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग एक्ट्स आर कवर्ड अंडर एनजीटी's लेजिस्लेटिव फ्रेमवर्क, राइट. देन फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन एक्ट 1980, राइट. फॉरेस्ट कंजर्वेशन एक्ट 1980, ये एक्ट भी, ये सारे एक्ट्स हमने डिस्कस किया क्लास में. देन एयर प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल ऑफ पोल्यूशन एक्ट, देन एनवायरमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट इज कंट्रोल, देन पब्लिक लिएबिलिटी इंश्योरेंस एक्ट, ये भी इंक्लूडेड है, राइट. देन बायोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटी एक्ट 2002, ये भी इंक्लूडेड है. सो बेसिकली 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 एक्ट्स आर कवर्ड अंडर इट, राइट. देन डिस्पोजल ऑफ एप्लीकेशंस और अपील्स विद इन 6 months ऑफ फाइलिंग ऑफ द सेम, 6 महीने में वो होना चाहिए. इट्स ऑर्डर्स आर बाइंडिंग बट नॉट फाइनल, फाइनल नहीं है बिकॉज अगर ये ऑर्डर के बाद सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी जा सकता है, एंड इनफैक्ट बाद में कुछ कोर्ट ने बोला यू कैन चैलेंज देम इन हाई कोर्ट आल्सो. इट कैन रिव्यू इट्स जजमेंट और अपील कुड बी मेड इन सुप्रीम कोर्ट विद इन 90 days, 19 days में कर सकता है, राइट. एंड एनजीटी हैज प्रेजेंस इन 5 zones, नॉर्थ, राइट, सेंट्रल, ईस्ट, साउथ एंड वेस्ट, राइट. दैट इज द इंफॉर्मेशन, राइट. अगेन ये इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट. ये वर्क्स ऑन प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ नेचुरल जस्टिस में फॉलो करती है, ये पॉइंट इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट. देन ग्रांट बेल एंड सुओ मोटिव भी ले सकती है, प्रोवर्स ऑफ सिविल कोर्ट है, राइट. दैट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट. देन Central Groundwater Board, right, we have already discussed it in the class, right. Groundwater Board headquarter is in Faridabad, Haryana. भूजल भवन, right, हरियाणा में, right. So class notes में already discussed है, अगर नहीं हुई है तो you need to study it from here because it is important. Central Groundwater Board, Central Groundwater Authority, right. एक वो भी है Central Groundwater Authority, right, वो भी important है, वो 2 बार आ चुका है, right. Central Groundwater Authority, right, and Central Groundwater Board, both are different, right. Both are covered in our class notes and both are discussed in the classes also, right. You can study them, right. दोनों कर सकते हैं, ये इधर से पढ़ लो, Central Groundwater Board, right. Then next is Committee for Air Quality Management, right. That is Commission of Air Quality Management in NCR region and adjoining areas. It is a statutory body, right, under एनसीआर एक्ट में बना है, राइट. ये एक्ट कमीशन फॉर एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट इन एनसीआर रीजन एंड एडजॉइनिंग एरियाज एक्ट 2021, इसके अंदर बना है, राइट. रिप्लेस एनवायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल अथॉरिटी, इसको, राइट, बेसिकली CAQM में, ये CAQM, राइट, फॉर्म्ड अंडर इट्स सेपरेट एक्ट इन 2021, राइट. इतना याद करना है, राइट. सो ये एनवायरमेंट पोल्यूशन एक्ट एनवायरमेंट प्रिवेंशन एक्ट में नहीं है, 1986 एक्ट में नहीं है. दिस इज कमीशन फॉर एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट इन एनसीआर रीजन एंड एडजॉइनिंग एरियाज एक्ट 2021, उस एक्ट में बना है, राइट. सो दिस एक्ट ऑफ 2021 उसमें बना है, दैट यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. इट रिप्लेस्ड एनवायरमेंट पोल्यूशन प्रिवेंशन एंड कंट्रोल अथॉरिटी, राइट. बेसिकली दिल्ली में एयर पोल्यूशन, एडजॉइनिंग एरियाज में एयर पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल करने के लिए एयर क्वालिटी मैनेजमेंट एनसीआर रीजन इंक्लूडिंग हरियाणा, पंजाब, उत्तर प्रदेश, राजस्थान, राइट. दिल्ली का जो भी बॉर्डर एरियाज टच है उनसे पोल्यूशन वो करने के लिए, राइट. सो दैट इज अ थिंग. सो विद दिस वी आर डन विथ द पार्ट 3, राइट. इन नेक्स्ट पार्ट वी विल बी कवरिंग विथ sustainable development related things, right. See you in the next part. Bye.